experiencing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain, muscular discomfort, entirely up to you. If you need to stop and have a little stretch, stop and stretch, stop and rest. If you can keep it going for as long as you can. Usual props, the band or belt, strap, and then the ball or a cushion, a towel that you can roll to create a little bit of a bulk to mimic the ball. Same as usual, if I'm seated, see if I can try and find that lifted position that allows the diaphragm, allows the breathing muscle to move inside the ribcage, inside of the belly, without being compressed or without being squashed. If you're lying down, using the mat to relax completely, straight legs, bent knees, the arms by the side, allowing yourself to relax. Feeling the belly raising, feeling the belly expanding with the inhalation, and then relaxing with the exhalation. Not because I'm consciously trying to push the belly out with the breath, it's the breath that's just creating that little out and back movement. And then trying to keep the breath down into the belly, so making sure that I'm not allowing it to come up to the top of the chest, so I'm not going into that apical breath that is going to send me into a fight and flight mode, so it's going to stress me out, it's going to wind me up. See if I can keep the focus down into the belly, encouraging the breath to drop down into the belly, into a more relaxed breath. And then at the same time, running a quick scan over the body. So noticing the pressure under the hips, is the pressure the same, right and left side? If I'm laying down, comparing the right and the left side of the body, do I feel the same pressure behind the right shoulder, behind the left, behind the right hip or behind the left? Are my arms in the same position? Is my head centered? Am I slightly leaning to one side? I'm not changing anything, just noticing where everything is and how you feel to begin with. Is there tension anywhere? Do I feel any pain anywhere? And then as I feel a little bit more settled, the breath of the body feels a little bit calmer, a little bit more relaxed, I'm going to start focusing on the shoulders. I'm going to start off with little shoulder rolls. So I'm just going to roll them around, making the circles as big or small as it feels comfortable. There will be all sorts of scrunching and clicking noises. As far as there is no pain with that, I'm going to keep it nice and big. If there is pain, I'm just going to reduce the size of the movement, but still do some, still encourage some. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back, adjusting the shoulders. Now see if you can do the same, but with one shoulder at a time. So I'm going to roll back the right to take back the left. If you're seated, see if you can take advantage of the fact that you've got freedom to move, and then imagine a tennis ball between your shoulder blades. See if you can roll the ball as much as you can. So see if I can try and create movement, not just into my shoulder girdle, but also into the upper back. If I'm laying down, I'm a little bit restricted for movement as I'm laying down on the shoulders, but I can still get some movement going through. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, resetting the shoulders back to the middle. Upper back feels a little bit looser. I'm going to see if I can change the direction, see if I can get a little bit more movement through. I'm going to stick the arms straight in front of me, keeping the hands together or slightly apart, and then I'm just going to start to swing the arms around. So I'm going to swing them to the right as far as I can, and then swing them to the left. So over to one side, and then to the other. So if I'm laying down, think of rolling from shoulder to shoulder, making sure that the hips are not moving. So my torso is rotating, but my hips are not. So the back is creating that movement. If I'm seated, again, taking advantage of advantage of the space. See if I can create a nice rotation from side to side. Not forcing, always comparing right and left side. I feel that I can turn better when I go to the right, or it feels easier when I go to the left. So I'm just going to focus on the side that doesn't feel easy, that feels a little bit stiffer. See if I can create a better movement in that direction. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Releasing the shoulders, releasing the back. It's a little bit more movement. I'm going to change the direction again. I'm going to bring the arms to the front, the same as before. Keeping the hands together or slightly apart. And then I'm going to start taking the arms up towards the ceiling. So I'm going to try and encourage a nice extension. I'm going to try and push the chest forward. See if I can lift it up. And then I'm going to drop down into a little flexion. So I'm going to come up into extension and then down with a little flexion. So think of the back of the rib cage extending and flexing. Only a little movement. The arms are going just as big or small as I feel comfortable through the shoulders, making sure that I'm not forcing the lift if I feel that the shoulders start shrugging up to the head. If I'm laying down, exactly the same. I'm going to try and extend as the arms go behind. I'm going to try and push my chest up to the ceiling, and then as they come forward, I might even lift the head off the ground to get the little flexion going. So I'm going to extend and flex. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, adjusting through the back. Again, it's a little bit more movement. See if I can combine the movement together. So the next one, I'm going to raise the arms up in front of you, and then think of swinging the arms in front of the body. So if I'm lying down, I'll be trying to take my arms to the back. If I'm seated, I'm taking the arms to the ceiling, and then I'm going to swing them over to one side, all the way forward to the other side, and then back. And then I'm going to go around again, making the swing as big as possible. So if you're lying down, feeling that gentle rolling, the back of the rib cage, kind of like a rolling side to side, up and down against the mat. If I'm seated, again, see if I can take advantage of the space and really try to get into that nice swing around, moving through the back, moving through the shoulders, through the arms as much as I can. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. And then I'm going to go exactly the same, but the other way. I'm going to swing round the other way, and then I'm going to get that nice circling movement going the other side. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Relaxing the shoulders, again, adjusting the shoulders, adjusting the back. Hopefully feels a little bit looser at the top, see if I can start focusing down onto the lower back. I'm going to start off with a little pelvic tilt. So if you're seated, think of coming right up onto the very tip of the seat bones, and then I'm just going to tilt the pelvis back. I'm going to roll onto my tailbone. Then I'm going to come back up onto the tip of the seat bones, and then back onto the tailbone. So see if I can change the curve on the lumbar spine. So little posterior tilt, and then I'm going to bring myself back into neutral. So tilting, and then coming back, tilting, and then coming back. And think of a nicer, gentle massage, a nicer, gentle rocking. So especially if there is a tightness, a tension into the lower back, it's quite nicer to ease some of the tension away. The upper body is pretty still, so I'm not exaggerating with my shoulders or with my upper back. It's just the lower back moving. If you're down on the mat, use the mat to guide you. Think of pressing the lower back down flat into the floor, and then I'm going to lift it away. I'm going to push it down into the mat and then lift it away. So nice, easy rocking. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back, returning the hips back into neutral, and then from anterior posterior tilt, I'm going to go into a little hip hitch. So instead of moving forward and back, this time I'm going to move side to side. I'm going to hitch the right hip up towards the right side of the rib cage. So I'm going to close the right side and open the left. Then I'm going to hitch the left hip, and then I'm going to hitch the right again. So if you're lying down on the back of the pelvis should stay flat on the floor. The hips should be moving just gently side to side. So I can feel the right side of the belly pulling up on the right hip, the left side of the belly pulling up on the left. One side is shortening, one side is lengthening, one side is shortening, one side is lengthening. If you're seated, imagine to be walking your seat bones up and down on the chair. So I can use my arms to offer a little support. I'm going to try and pull up on the right seat bone, drop it back, and pull up on the left, drop it back. So feeling a little bit more tension through the obliques into the side of the belly. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, resetting the hips back to the center, back to level, and then I'm going to change the direction of the movement one more time. I'm going to see if I can go into a little rotation. Now, if I'm seated, I can't really move the hips that much, but I can still use the legs. If I'm lying down, it's a little bit easier. So if I'm seated, I'm going to bring the legs close together. I'm going to reach the left hand across the right leg, and then I'm going to pull the legs over to the side. So see if I can encourage a gentle twist. Then I'm going to ease my way back, and then reach across with the other arm, and then I'm going to pull the legs the opposite way. Coming back, and then I'm going to twist to the other side. So think of a nice easy rotation with a little stretch into the side of the hip. If you're lying down, you're going to go into hip rolls. So the feet are together, the knees are together. I'm going to let the arms open up nice and wide. And then I'm going to start rolling the hips from side, back to center, over to the other side. So little movement, big movement, making sure that it's not catching on the back, it's not creating pressure or pain on the back. Making sure that if I'm lying down, the shoulders are staying on the floor, they're not lifting away, they're not pulling away. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And easing back, adjusting the hips, resetting the hips back to the middle. I feel the back is a little bit looser. I'm going to start focusing more on the hip and the shoulder. Starting from the hip, I want to get some movement into the hip joint. I want to warm up the hip joint. So I'm going to focus on the single leg. So I'm going to lift my right leg up if I'm lying down. If I know that I can't hold the leg there, then I might want to use the strap behind it to help me support it with the arms. And then imagine a pencil strapped to the tip of the knee. I'm going to start drawing little circles with the pencil up on the ceiling if I'm lying down, on the wall opposite if I'm seated up. So think of the top of the leg just moving into the hip socket, just to see if I can try and relax the hip joint, so making sure that it's not locked and tight. There is some movement there. So it doesn't matter if it's not exactly a circle, just a circular movement will do. So if I'm seated, I don't have to lift the leg off the ground. I'm just going to see if I can guide it around. So a little bit to the side, a little to the ceiling, on the inside, dropping it back, and then round again. So massaging the back of the pelvis, massaging around the hip joint. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then reversing those circles, going the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. And relaxing the leg, relaxing the hip. And then I'm going to try the same thing with the left side. So if I need the support, I'm going to switch the band around to the left leg. And then I'm going to use the arms to help me guide that leg again into that movement. So same as I did on the left. It doesn't need to be big. See if I can just be aware of the top of the leg, the head of the femur, just turning gently into the hip socket, just to see if I can ease off some of the tension, some of the stiffness from the hip joint. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then reversing, going around the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing back, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. There's a little bit more movement into the hip joint. It feels a little bit looser, it feels a little bit warmer. I'm going to see if I can start working the different areas separately. I'm going to start with the inside of the leg. So I'm going to grab hold of my ball my pillow, towel, and then I'm going to put it between the knees. And then from there, I'm going to focus on both legs at the same time. So I'm going to squeeze the ball between the knees, and then I'm going to ease the pressure. Squeeze between the knees, and then ease the pressure. I can see the legs, but I can see the ball. Make sure that as you're squeezing, it looks as if both legs are moving the same amount, as very often one side is just holding and then the other side is doing all the pressing. So see if I can be aware of both sides squeezing evenly into the ball. So same as usual, if I feel that one side is a little bit temperamental, doesn't really want to go there, then I'm going to use the hand to guide it. So see if I can try and encourage a little bit of a better movement on that side. If it's both legs, then I'm just going to use both hands on the outside of the legs to almost like teach the direction, tell the legs where to go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On the next one, I'm going to squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. Try again. Big squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. One more time. Big squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And release. Relaxing the leg, releasing the inner thigh. And then I'm going to work it to the front of the hip. So same as usual, if I'm seated, my hand are quite close to the leg, so I can put my hand directly on the leg. If you're lying down, the leg is further, so to put my hand on the leg, I'm straining the shoulder, straining the neck. So it's easier if I put the ball between the leg and the hand to create a little bulk, so the shoulder is in a better position. And then from there, I'm going to focus on the right leg, on the right side. I'm going to try and pull the leg up into the ball and then push the hand down into it. So I'm going to squeeze them together so the leg is not actually lifting off the floor. The hand is pushing down, the leg is trying to come up, and then I'm just going to ease the pressure. So I'm going to squeeze the ball between the leg and the hand and then ease the pressure. As you're trying to create that squeeze, see if you can be aware of the tension right into the front of that right hip. So as I push down with the hand and try to pull up with the leg, I can feel the front of the hip twitching. I can feel those muscles kicking in to bring the leg up or to push it up against the ball. So I'm going to press, ease the pressure, press, ease the pressure. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the next one, I'm going to press and hold the pressure. So same as I did for the inner thigh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. Try again. Press and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. Again. Press and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release, last time, press and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing with the left side. So I'm going to place the ball between the left thigh and the hands. If I'm seated, pushing the hands directly onto the thigh. And then I'm going to push down with the hands, up with the leg. So see if I can again find that connection into the front of the hip. So I'm going to squeeze and then ease the pressure. Squeeze and then ease the pressure. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to squeeze, hold the pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release again. Squeeze all the pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. One more time. Squeeze and hold the pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And release. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. And then I'm going to focus on the side of the leg. So I'm going to grab hold of the band. And then I'm going to tie the band around the knees. The same as usual. If you've got the strap, keep it slightly loose. So you've got a little space into the loop where you can actually move the leg. If you've got the band, so if it's elastic, then tie it reasonably tight around the knees as you'll come and loose as the bow, as the knot gets a bit tighter. And then once the band is set, I'm going to focus on one leg at a time this time. I'm going to hold with my left, and then I'm going to pull out with my right. I'm going to hold with the left and then push out into the band with my right. Then I'm going to ease back, and then I'm going to try that again. So see if you can picture the tension coming down the side of the leg into the side of the hip. So I'm going to push and ease back. And then same as I did for the presses on the ball. If I feel that the leg doesn't want to go that way, I'm going to guide it. So I'm just going to push with one hand, see if I can guide the leg in the direction I want it to move, I want it to go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back, relaxing the leg. I'm going to hold with the right and then pushing out with the left side. So I'm going to squeeze it out and then easing back with a little bit of guidance if you need. And then controlling back. So see if I can find the connection, the gentle tension coming down into the side of the leg, side of the hip. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and easing back, allowing the hip a little bit of a rest to keep the band where it is. And then I'm going to try one more time, but this time I'm going to try both legs together. So I know that my right fatigues really quickly, or my left needs a little bit of a guidance, so I know what to expect right and left side. So I'm going to push them out at the same time, and then I'm going to ease them back. I'm going to push them out at the same time, and then ease them back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then on the next one I'm going to push out and hold that tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Easing back, trying again, pushing out and then holding that tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Easing back. One more time, pushing out to holding the tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and easing back. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to undo my band. Push it to the side. And then focusing on the back of the leg. First thing, I want to try and get a little glute activation. So I want my bum to wake up. So I'm going to start clenching my butt cheeks. So I'm just going to squeeze hard, and then I'm going to release. Squeeze hard and release. As you're clenching, as I'm squeezing hard, if you're seated, it should be feeling almost as if you're kind of like bouncing up and down slightly. As I tighten up, it pushes me up. As I relax, I drop back down into the chest. So I'm going to squeeze, release, squeeze, release, clench, let go, clench, let go. If you're lying down, you can keep the legs straight, you can bend the knees. As I clench, I can feel my hips have been pushed up slightly. As I relax, they will drop back. So I'm going to squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then on the next one, I want you to clench and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. Again, clench and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release, clench and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. And then now that the back of the hip, the back of the bum is a little bit more awake, I'm going to see if I can start loading a little. If I'm lying down, I'm going to push up into bridge. So squeezing with the back of the bum. This time I'm going to drive the hips up and away from the floor. Raising up from the mat, reaching your thighs out of the hip socket. And then I'm just going to ease my way back down. If I'm seated, same as usual, bring the feet a little bit closer to the chair. I'm going to lean forward into the legs and then squeezing with the back of the bum. I'm going to push forward and up as if I was trying to stand off the chair. So if I can, I'm going to create a little lift. If I find that that's too heavy, too much, just to see if you can be aware of the back of the bum and the back of the leg. You're just creating a little tension to move in that direction, to try and pull away from the chair. I can use my hands by the side to give me a little help at the front, to give me a little help, whichever works the better. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Relaxing the hips, so releasing the legs. Just a little bit more activation around the legs. See if you can finish off with a little bit on the shoulders. I'm going to bring the right arm to the front. I'm going to stick it right in front of me. Imagine to have pencils instead of fingers. I'm going to try and draw a spiral in front of me. So I'm going to start small, and then I'm going to progressively spiral a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. If you're seated, use the space. So I'm going to try and turn in my circle so that I can reach further around with the arm without creating strain, pressure in the shoulder. And then I'm going to try and make my spiral as big as I can. Making sure that there is no grinding in the shoulder, there is no pain as I'm opening up the size of the circle. If you're down on the mat, I can do exactly the same. I'm a little bit limited for space because of my shoulders being on the floor, but I can still turn and turn to open up my circle a little bit further. 2, 1, and then I'm going to reverse. I'm going to go around the other way, adjusting the size of the circle. As often when we go the other way, the shoulder feels different. So I might find that this feels a bit gritty, feels a bit grindy. So I'm going to make my movement a little bit smaller to make sure that there is no pain in the shoulder as the arm is going around. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, relaxing the arm, adjusting the shoulders, and then sticking the left arm to the front. I'm going to start spiraling my way round, making the movement a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to start getting the upper body involved a little bit more. See if I can roll from shoulder to shoulder, if I can encourage that gentle rotation from side to side. It's going to give me a little bit more space to play with. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then reversing, going the other way, foot down. 9, 8. Again, adjusting the size of the circle. I feel this arm is getting very heavy very quickly. So I'm still trying to circle it around, making it a little bit smaller, but make sure that it's still a smooth circle. 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms. I'm going to reach the hands behind the back. And then I'm going to flick the band behind me. I'm going to hold this so that the hands are roughly by the side of the hips. So I've got a good grip. If I'm lying down, I'm just going to push the band under my hips, under my bum. And then hold it that way. I'm going to put a little tension into the band, so don't let it go slack. And then squeezing the shoulder blades together, I'm going to try and pull the shoulders back. So imagine to be hiding your shoulders behind your rib cage. So see if you can create a nice stretch across the front of the chest, reaching long into the arms. Think of the hands reaching down and away from the shoulders. See if I can create a nice stretch through. Hold it steady. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. If you're lying down, rolling over onto the side, and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting. Finding your comfortable seated position, using the hands by the side to offer a little support if you need to. Leaning against the wall, leaning against the sofa, making sure that nothing that's going to slide off and let me fall. And then once that you feel that you're set, then see if we can try and create the space at the front of the body. So I'm going to push the chest forward, roll the shoulders back and drop them down. I'm going to lift the head. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to look up, look back. And then releasing, coming forward, letting the chin drop down to the chest, the shoulders come forward. I'm going to roll my way down as far as I feel comfortable going. And then I'm curling my way back up again. Retracting the shoulders, extending through, opening up, lifting through the chest, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then releasing, coming forward, allowing the head to drop, the shoulders to come forward, rolling your way down. Last time, as much space at the front of the body as I can. So I'm going to create a nice lift, pulling the shoulders back, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then releasing back to the front. One hand on the belly.